than rewards people who are knowledgeable with the list and knowing, the kind of hands to keep and the right sequencing there. So they'll be playing it out on table 1 for first place. Because that matchup is probably going to be very quick, and we've seen both those players on camera before, we decided to bring you guys table 2, which are also 4-1s.
Yes.
So they will be playing it out for potentially, depending on how tiebreakers play out, one of these guys might be playing for second place.
Second place, yeah, which is a healthy prize of $46.
$46.20. First place is going to get $80 in store credit. Third place and fourth place both get $28. Fifth through eighth get $11.
That's
not
good.
bad. Not bad.
Pretty good.
So what we have here, Tom Biddle, who has not been on camera yet tonight, but is a frequent player here at Game Haven.
Yep.
He's a good player. He doesn't really have a deck that I know him for.
No.
He's willing to try out a lot of different decks, and he plays pretty well. He's on the play here. We've been informed this is, in fact, a Jund mirror, which may not be the most exciting thing just because there's a lot of people have seen a lot of Jund, but
it's going to last longer than our other options.
I think that it's actually an interesting matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of the decks themselves, the way they play out, there's a lot of decisions. It's hard for one deck in the Jund mirror to blow the other one out.
Right.
It's going to be, you're going to have to craft a game plan. You're going to have to beat your opponent's removal. You're going to have to sequence your threats correctly.
Right.
And you're going to have to ration your own removal for, the most important threats.
Right.
Because each individual card in Jund is potentially capable of winning the game on its own. Each individual creature.
And the Jund mirror, the big fight is the Rakdos return fight. Yeah.
That is a very powerful card. You do need to hit your land drops and live.
Yes.
So you will have to craft a game plan around resolving the Rakdos return, which is probably the biggest haymaker, I agree with you, in this matchup.
Yeah, and so far we just see some
people making land drops. Yep. Both players have the Farseek. And both players have been hitting their land drops. So let's see the first
action is Huntmaster
Spells, which is a powerful one. Takes 2 removal spells or a sweeper to get rid of it.
Yes.
It's resilient to Liliana of the Veil. It does a lot of good things in this matchup.
Right.
If you let it start flipping back and forth, it can put you under a lot of pressure.
Yep.
It can be hard to catch up. Now we do see a Thragtusk, which is a little bit of a trump.
Huntmaster plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a brawl, because the thing about
definitely. I wasn't sure if the Garruk was going to be big enough to handle the Rakdos return, but so that's pretty good, because it looks like Tom's going to be able to hold back this team with just the Thragtusk.
Yep, for sure.
And he still has cards in his hand.
And we talked about how good the Rakdos return was there, is in this matchup, and that's number 1. The issue is, David can pass turn here.
Right.
He can flip his Huntmaster. He can start developing that into more of a significant threat and start threatening to flip it around. A land there is not where you necessarily want to be.
Right. That's interesting. So Dave has the Wolf Run, but I'm not sure if it's worth.
I don't hate
the attack, but
it's your computer. I think Joe may have. I apologize there. We have a mirrored screen issue. I thought my computer's running out of juice, but looks like Joe took care of that for us. So yeah, trading up. That's one of the things that Kessel Wolfram lets you do effectively is trade up.
Right.
Flipping the Huntmaster is now. Huntmaster's the biggest threat on the board.
Right.
So I don't hate that attack because it lets you do this. It lets you now, if he doesn't have another Thragtusk, that 4/4 can just ignore that token, except here you go. This
Dreadbore
matchup is very removal heavy.
Yeah.
Your first or second threat.
And another removal spell.
Yep. Your first or second threat is probably not going to win you the game in this mirror. It's going to be an attrition battle.
Are both players empty-handed now?
No, it looks like Tom
has a card.
is holding a card.
Yeah, and Dave holds his card.
The thing is that Rakdos return was really good. It killed Garruk. It emptied David's hand. But they're now both top decking. He's not that far ahead.
No, just the lone Thragtusk is not too impressive. Now it's going to get to the point where if Dave gets low enough, Dave can just finish him off with a that one card that dominated Standard for a really long time. Keswick Wolfrun.
That's that card. Good one.
Yeah, so, and here, Tom drawing probably the ideal creature here.
Yep, Bonfire would be pretty good. That looks like a Vraska. Is that a main deck Vraska?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's not something that you usually see in the main deck of most Jund lists. And Dave deciding what modes to activate.
I think, you don't +1 because he just gets ignored.
Right.
So you're going to have to kill something, and you can't kill land, so the Hunt Master is pretty much your obvious target. I think that was correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Vraska's great. I like Vraska. She is a good trump to other Planeswalkers and other things. She's not particularly impressive right now, though.
Right.
I mean, she's a removal spell that may or may not fog, but I'd be surprised. Yeah, with life totals like this, you just ignore her and just push right through.
Yeah, and Dave is in
the it looks like he split his attacks up. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's very reasonable. Okay. And with the fake miracle, the pump fake.
And like we were talking about, it was running out of threat and answering with removal spells and back and forth.
Like Thragtusk are just like the norm.
Yeah, exactly.
You fight Thragtusk, like, it's whatever, but against like aggro decks, it's very scary.
Exactly.
So Thragtusk is plenty good, but it's not just like
it doesn't. Because it's exactly what your opponent's doing. It's not. The power level is very flat there. Like Huntmaster of the Fells, Thragtusk, these cards are just cards in this deck.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we'll see. David Martin has been having a good night tonight, except when we put him on camera.
Yeah, so hopefully we didn't curse him. Although we did have Tom on camera for about 20 seconds or so.
That's true. That's
20 or 40 seconds. So we'll see. Dave's been. So Tom's a very good player, but if I have to give like the edge in the mirror to somebody, I give it to Dave.
Sure, he's certainly been playing this particular deck a lot lately, very thoroughly. He's explored a lot of the different builds and tech for the deck. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to trust him to have a pretty good build.
Absolutely, yeah, and he's also kind of a student of the game. I know that he watches a lot of Pro Tour coverage or Grand Prix coverage or SCG coverage. And I think one of the reasons why he plays this deck so much is after Reduke won the Grand Prix with Jund.
Sure, Reduke certainly made Jund look pretty good.
Yeah, it made it look easy. So let's see. I see the Garrick in Tom's hand. I wonder. I see a Thragtusk kind of flip card in Dave's hand.
Yep. So a couple of lands. Yeah. I think you really want you are happy to see a Farseek in this matchup.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying that you throw back any hand that doesn't have it, but you're certainly much happier to see it than not.
Tom just rolled a dice. I wonder if he rolled to see if he was going to mull it.
One of those real close calls.
Yeah. That's
neither player looks like they're snapping off on their keep here.
Yeah. Dave doesn't seem...
Well, there's a reasonable amount at stake here, in terms of your standings. This is where standings are going to start moving around. This final round, wins and losses are going to really...
And Dave's on the back foot here. So
yes. He's not going to get another chance if this hand isn't good. So
yeah, it's going to...
Tom has thrown his back.
Yeah, and just like mentally speaking, it's always a bummer to win a game and then lose. Because then you're like, oh crud. Like, the situation is getting out of control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It puts you in a tough spot being down a game where you have to really have a good feel for your sideboard because you don't get to if you're not doing
you can't just keep double colorless land.
Tom
has had it.
Yep, yeah. There's the Farseek for sure. Because if you hit a card and you Farseek into a Blood Crypt, like you can cast all your cheap spells without, I can see the appeal. You have 2 lands and a Farseek on 6 cards. Yeah, start asking yourselves, is my 5 going to look any better? Is my 5 going to have 1 land in it? That kind of stuff. So I can see the appeal there. It certainly didn't work out for him there, but he's live he's got 2 draws to hit a land, and it just did not materialize.
So you would have kept?
I'm not saying I necessarily would have kept. I don't know the full contents of the hand. But 2 lands and a Farseek on a mull to 6, regardless of what lands they are, starts looking a little more tempting, is all I'm saying.
I don't know. Like chances are he'll draw a green source.
Right.
But like I said, so even if you, I'm assuming the only way you do keep that hand is if you have a Farseek.
Sure, it's got.
If you don't have a Farseek, it doesn't make any sense because you can't cast anything.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm assuming Tom had a Farseek. He was just kind of hoping to get a like an overgrown tombstone card or whatever. Which is actually not a thing. Probably pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Right? But I think I would have tried again if there was not a Farseek.
And that's fair, but also in a really atrocity matchup, it's not great to be down cards. Like
that's another.
That's when you start running through your head. Like can I win down 2 cards in a matchup that's all about these 1-for-1s?
I think that says hi mom. So if David's mother is watching, hello.
Hi from Game Haven. David is brawling for game 3 here. This is going to be yet another 3-game match that we saw tonight. Yeah. And that last game certainly made David look good.
David says hi, Mom. Yeah. Joe making sure that we send the message to David's mother. So
let's take a look here. Let's see. I want to see both players keep 7 cards, and let's. I
want to see both players keep 7 cards, but neither of them have a Farseek. is that so much to ask? They always have Farseek.
Yeah, they have. Every time we've seen Gun on here, not every time, but like man, we've seen a lot of turn 2 Farseeks.
No Farseek. Okay.
No Farseek.
Also no black.
And Dave Martin is remarkably good at turn 2 Farseek.
How is this fair? The guy never does not have a turn 2 Farseek.
Have we seen him not play turn 2 Farseek? No, last game he played a turn 3 Farseek.
Yeah, but Tom played double colorless, man.
Well, I'm just saying.
And a pass. Like
he's good at drawing Farseeks. Yeah. This is true.
And here, just a typical land setup.
Yep.
Nothing really happens in turn until both players have 4 lands.
They can just take their time.
Yeah.
Your Rakdos return is your concern here. You want to start playing to the board.
And while you're just like playing your lands, I spend this time trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do when
exactly.
I have my mana? So
like Thrytusk is obviously your best play here, just because it's resilient threat. It's kind of your all-purpose beater.
Oh yeah. Thrytusk is like it's always like something you can lean on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the life is pretty much always good, even in the mirror. Like the life's not super irrelevant, but like it's nice having that cushion
for sure. And here we go. All right, this is starting to look pretty familiar.
I don't think Tom has black mana in Blue's Rakdos return. I'm pretty sure Tom will just throw up.
Right over these nice white playmats. It doesn't look. That's a Keswick Wolf Run, which is not a bad Magic the Gathering card.
No. It used to be the best one.
Yes, it was pretty good.
All right, so another Thragtusk, Big Daddy T.
It looks like there's a Tusk in his hand, doesn't it?
Hard to see. I definitely see a Thragtusk. I see a land and maybe a Vraska. I think Vraska is the
I don't hate Vraska. Kill your token on an empty board. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Then start ticking her up. But he goes for the Tusk, which I think is perfectly fine.
Is Arlie Hever like a bad decision?
Yes.
It's like when in doubt, just
do I have 5 mana? Do I have green mana? Do I have a Thragtusk?
Right. And this way, maybe Dave's just trying to get like all the dread boars and anything that can target Planeswalkers.
And that's you just exhaust the resources.
Absolutely.
Before trying to pull ahead, again, Vraska, not at her very best in this particular mirror,
right?
But as just a 5 mana removal spell, she's not the worst.
No,
and she
that can potentially stick around too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big deal. So Dave just needs to figure out whether it's worth the attack with this Thragtusk. I mean, it depends how many cards are in each player's hand.
Sure.
I'm not sure how many cards Tom has. Looks like Dave has about 3.
Yeah.
He miracled a bonfire. Okay. So yeah, he didn't draw the card. Well, he did draw, but he kept it separate. I didn't see that. Yeah. So that's a pretty easy decision. And then a Putrefy will take care of the Thragtusk.
Sure.
Yeah.
But now you're up 10 life. Now you have the only creature on board.
Yeah. And Dave has a Keswick Wolf Run ready to that he can lean on.
Ready to do the removal spell check every turn.
Absolutely.
So, do you have another one? Do you have a removal spell?
Yeah, what Tom is really looking for is like a Thragtusk of his own.
Yes. Or a Planeswalker to start generating some advantage with. If he has his own Garrux.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Just something to start getting that incremental advantage, get that tempo moving back in your favor.
Let's see what he
looks like maybe a
dreadboard. Okay, that's fine.
And that's the thing about Keswick Wolfram. One of the things that makes it such a powerful card is that it turns all of your threats into must-answer threats.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Is it a 1/1? Is it a 2/2? Doesn't matter. Right, it's 11 damage.
It really stinks that he had to use the Dreadbore on the 3/3 token, but if he didn't, he was just going to die.
Yeah, so in 2 turns.
So this Vraska that Dave may or may not have in his hand, I'm not is just going to stick around.
Yeah.
If that was his only way to kill a Planeswalker.
That's what's going on here.
And Olivia,
that is an Olivia, which on an empty board... it's not your best, but with that Keswick Wolf runner, it's a threat.
If this Olivia lives,
if he untaps with it,
it's going to be very.
It makes it hard for Tom to get back in this game. He's faring down a Keswick Wolf run and an active Olivia Boldarin. Yeah, he did bring in. We talked about some of those card advantage generating stuff that you see in these attrition mirrors.
It's a very important card in those matchups.
Yeah, for sure. And some people have been playing Dead Bridge Chant. You saw that be popular for a little bit. I like. Just a nice, simple Phyrexian Arena, personally.
Oh, yeah.
But don't do anything tricky. Just draw some more cards.
Some of the PTQs...
is still in pretty good shape. He's down 15 life or so, now less than that, but he is far from dead.
Okay, and Huntmaster, as exciting that is not quite good enough. That Underworld Connections is the big difference.
Yes, when Vraska killed the Underworld Connections, that was kind of turning a corner for David Martin. I feel like he was really approaching a state where he could start dictating the pace of the game. But Tom showed the high-impact cards that Jund plays. It's hard to shut the door on Jund.
Yeah, exactly. There's always some way to get a
bonfire off the top, Rakdos return. It could just get back in the game, and then Thragtusk gains you 5 life, and all of a sudden you are the furthest thing from dead.
Right, yeah.
So,
and Dave's at 29, so he has some time to dig into something.
But he is definitely having to respond here. He is no longer in the driver's seat.
Yeah, definitely.
He spent a couple of turns kind of crafting a game state where he was, on the beatdown, but it has been answered.
Yeah. And in comes Thragtusk. So I wonder what. Yeah, there's no reason.
No reason to block.
Yeah, Dave's at a healthy life. Totally, might as well just take it.
So now we're like, yes,
absolutely.
That attack means you probably have a removal spell.
Right. So
both players have plenty of mana.
Yeah, Dave just needs to get something into play.
Yeah. Now, do you jam here and just put it all into the Keswick Wolfram and make him show the removal spell?
He miracled a bonfire.
Or
Rakdos return. Wow.
Oh, did he fireball him out?
No. Tom's still alive, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage he did with it.
Okay.
Maybe more.
I was like, there's no way he's dead. He was just discarding his hand.
But yeah, you can see Dave get a little animated. Yeah. He's very close to putting this game away. He just needs to be able to untap with his Keswick Wolf run.
Yep.
And the only cards that were in Tom's hand were Rakdos returns. So.
This is the game we were talking about where it's real attrition and then it gets real haymakery. And we're talking about these cards are just throwing these huge haymakers at each other.
Yeah, and Tom left back his Thragtusk to block, so
just to soak up some damage.
I can't imagine what that means. And then pump it up.
Do you have it? Removal spell check.
Nope. All right.
And I am dead. And that is just how the Jund mirror. That is a textbook Jund mirror.
Yep.
And David Martin's mother, if you're watching, you just watched your son take down this match on camera.
Yep.
So that is just exactly how I pictured that game going.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of 1-for-1s on creatures that survive 1-for-1s. It's a lot of big, powerful cards at the top of the deck. Your bonfire. We saw bonfires, Rakdos' returns. We saw planeswalkers. We saw Thragtusks.
Like 17 Thragtusks.
Yeah. And it was just we saw the Thragtusks. None of them were enough to end the game on there. I mean, this is Thragtusk, the most dominant creature in Standard in a long time, and they're just another card in this matchup. I was like, it's a Thragtusk. This is a Rakdos' return. That's a Thragtusk.
I always imagine Thragtusk how do I explain it? So, when you're playing Thragtusk and Jund, it's the norm, right? So it's Jund players in their own club almost.
Yeah.
And then so when they take Thragtusk to other places, they're we have Thragtusk.
Curtis playing Ban Hexproof, Mike Walters playing Green Black Zombies. They ID'd, which means Curtis intentionally drew himself into like 4th or so place.
Okay.
Going 4-1-1.
That means Mike
Walters at 5-0-1 will be guaranteed first place.
Okay.
So he guaranteed himself first place with that draw. Curtis decided maybe he didn't like the matchup 100%. Or maybe he just got tired after 6 rounds, but he was comfortable taking the draw and drawing himself into guaranteed top 4.
I don't buy the tires. Curtis travels to very far off in foreign lands to play Magic cards.
Curtis will take a draw in the final round of a Star City Open to guaranteed top 64.
That's
if
true.
He's playing for top 32.
Yeah.
So when there's Curtis likes the sure thing when it comes to the prize. So he didn't want to lose and get knocked down way into the pack at 4-2.
Yeah.
So I can see the appeal. It's high risk, high reward, but you don't necessarily want to knock yourself back into the people who are all brawling for that top 8 slot.
Yeah.
So that was our tournament. Mike Walters, our first place, will be getting his $80 in store credit with Black Green Zombies. The other places will fill in as the tiebreakers go, and we'll probably toss when we edit this, we'll probably toss a standings up at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll have that on the video if people want to check that out.
Yeah, so Mike Walters is winning, I guess, the intro DMC coverage tournament.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Groundbreaking stuff.
Groundbreaking stuff. Congratulations to Mike Walters. Congratulations to all of our top 8. A big thank you to all of our players who all decided to let themselves be broadcast for everybody. And a big thanks to Scott and Game Haven and the Game Haven staff.
Yep, they've been very patient with the technical setup.
As we work out the kinks, we've been here for days setting all this stuff up.
Right, yeah.
A big thanks to all of Dayton Magic Club and everyone that wore their Dayton Magic Club colors out to the
there's
store tonight.
Quite a few.
Jacob Ross is not wearing his Dayton Magic.
I don't
Club
have
shirt.
mine yet.
Okay.
I never got it. But how about the biggest shout out to Joe?
To Joe.
Yeah,
Joe
absolutely.
Plant, content manager for Dayton Magic Club website, and our technical director for the coverage tonight.
Like the overlays that you're seeing, the reason that the stream works.
The man who built the rig that physically holds the camera over the table.
It's tremendous how much work he's put into this.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So, I think that about wraps it up for tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking us out. Come check us out at DaytonMagicClubWebsite.com if you want to see some writing done by the people who won this tournament, who did well, the people who played, the people who saw on camera.
And if you want to, if you're from the Dayton area, you want to submit articles, the contact information is on the website.
Right there on the website.